Welcome, it's the Crypto Sniper live stream. I think it's our first Crypto Sniper live stream in quite some time. Yep, we've been talking. It's looking good out there on the Bitcoin front. Why do we say it? Why do we get excited? So let's be clear. We've been very dull and bearish. Very dull and bearish with you. I'm looking on the screen here. Jump in the chat. Where are you from? Tell us how you're doing. Are you in the Bitcoin? Are you in long? Who knows? Let us know. Where are you from? What's the weather like out there? Still getting a little bit of blustery wind and rain today, but plenty of sun too. I heard it's cold up north. Oh dear. Anyway, so Bitcoin, what is it doing? What are you going to hear from us in this live stream? A key triggering event has occurred and a key level of significance has been run. So recently, only the last two videos have been explicitly there is a bull scenario, and the very last one that was yesterday, actually not long ago at all, was it's an out and out bull for us. This means you're going to get a triggering event soon, and that would have been confirmed on the takeout of the 25K. So we will be going to the charts in a minute, but not yet you say. I want to show you in the YouTube where we identified for you that you first needed a little sell-off. You needed something to drop the market down first for it to have a pump back up with some momentum. In short, we're talking about a right shoulder that we felt was needed to come to complete what was an inverted head and shoulder, in our opinion. That was 2 videos ago rather than the last one, and where we said the collection zone for where you could get long would be. So let's take a look at that video and show you the chart. So here you are. We're looking at the chart. Here's yours truly there, dressed in black, morning, who knows what is morning. There is the left shoulder. The blue line is your 25K. Let's go a bit of a fatter cokey for that, so it shows up. We do blue, we do it dark blue, and we do it nice and neatly. That's messy stuff. You could see us illustrating that there's a 25K there, and that there was real interaction at the rising wedge of previously, when again we said do not be a bull, and everyone was getting bullish. Do not be a bull, you're going to get slammed. And then you got that slam as per the rising wedge, as it's meant to be, with it splitted down, head down. We told you about this in the previous video. What we also said is this red line, which I'll do in red, is a basing ascending grind line on a broadening structure, and typically you need to relieve the pressure of that double red line for a downside break. And in the process of doing that, so this is where a couple of our framings are moving and confirming the other framing. So we have a pattern analysis that says we're missing a right shoulder on a 25K that's now been met twice. Here's the resistance 25K. There was the resistance 25K, broken with momentum on the way down. And we said, so how far down might you go? And we drew inside our community, particularly, we drew pink boxes. But I also gave you a little bit of a clue of where I thought it was. You'll see that red writing there. And you can see we drew a pink line. It's a bit fuzzy now. I should change I'm so stupid. I don't even realize that YouTube always throttles me down, and I'm sitting probably on 360p when I could have 1080. There we go. Doesn't that look a little bit better? What a dumb corp. There you go. So there you can even see the 20K now. Now you don't have to take my word for it. You can see in the blue, the 20K and the 19891. What were those two blue lines? 20K, key level of significance, 20,000. That's easy enough. And the 19891 was the legacy high of 2017. Yes, that's right, your 2017 high. In fact, on bigger time frames, you essentially just run that when you ran the 15. But the guesstimation is that red box that I've drawn for you there would be a great accumulation point for your Bitcoin. And of course, it's hard to accumulate. All sorts of FUD is going to be coming at you during the time that you most need to accumulate. This is what's called trading to a level and having a plan, rather than trading to the news. Did you panic and were selling during that period? Well, you're responding, you're reacting. This is an emotional response to fear, things not sounding so good. That's already priced into the market. That's why it's going down. And that was a great catchment area. You would have just had the run of the 20K to the downside. You could have accumulated. That would have been the entry of all entries had you taken it. Subsequently, what's gone on? Let's show you the charts. Let's show you the charts. Let's show you the charts. Also, by the way, in this video, we also showed you the Bitcoin dominance. This is a very important thing as well. We highlighted dominance, and in the previous video, we highlighted dominance again. In short, not only are we saying that Bitcoin is strong, we're saying it's the honey badger strong. In terms of percentage, it's going up higher. I took the screenshot earlier. I'm not sure how it's showing now. But if you look at the 7-day performance on, let's make it nice and big, let everybody see. If you look at the 7-day performance here, the biggest number is number 1, numero uno, Bitcoinus Maximus in the last 7 days since that low. And that is a sterling effort, I tell you, a sterling effort. 16 Ethereum, 13, obviously stable coins not going much where, 10 on Binance, XRP 1.5, that's a bit disappointing from them, 11, Cardano 8, 4 and 7. And that shows you that the liquidity and the real alternative to what's gone wrong. Well, a pair of banks decided for crypto collateral to buy, you guessed it, after a 40-year bull market. They bought the top of the bull market and sat through the federal chief Satan tightening interest rates and destroying that level of collateral. That's it. And you had 4 in a row after being late to inflation, despite everyone telling them that, including us. They overreacted. They haven't overreacted. They're still way below where they should be on rates, but they had to catch up. So the steepness of the rate hikes came very, very fast because they started too late. And now they've been super belligerent. We're going to do this. And what happened? You now have the 2nd and 3rd largest bank failures in America. And they even got the old man out. You know, they wheeled him out like the Hannibal Lecter thing with the mask. Wheel him out. There we go. Take the mask off. Give him some oxygen. Well, we've fired them all. We've fired them all, and the investors have lost the money. This is not a bailout. That means it's a bailout. The tax man is behind it. You are the tax. You are the revenue that's behind it. It's all just come out of the reserves that the banks pay. Oh, really? Okay. And if there wasn't much in there, you think there's actually a pot? And they have a pot and everybody's money goes in it? No, it just gets taken off by the government. That's it. And they just put it, yeah, we'll back that. We'll back it. There's no money, just like there's no retirement pot with everything you've been paying in your retirement that says John Smith's pot, don't touch. It's for giving it back to him with all that growth later when he retires. There's no pot. It goes into the government's back pocket. And then they go, yeah, it's a commitment for the future. Someone else will pay. We'll get money in from somewhere else and will pay. There is no pot. You are the pot. Don't be fooled. You are the pot. Okay, so Bitcoin dominance, we're going to show you that chart, my fine friends. Leave your comments, by the way. I'll be checking chats as well to see you all. In fact, 15K was close enough, says VIP style. VIP style. I like a bit of VIP style myself. Somebody, Lee Batty's laughing. Just creates more precedent for moral hazard. Indeed, indeed. Love it, Francis the man. Isn't Nomix or Coin Paprika better sites to look at the top coins? Quite possibly. I'm old school. That's what I grew up in 2016, and I still go there. And they don't put Hex in the top 10. The Hexicans will tell you. Anyway, so let's look at that Bitcoin dominance chart. So you will see there was a surge here as well. Welcome to my lovely community as well. You're jumping onto the free view. And this was a great flag break right there. This was dominance. We also highlighted to you that you could go back up to the 48% range as per many times before in these levels and ranges. Just for starters, that doesn't mean it has to be the end, but that you might have a pause because it's a key level of significance. You've been there before. You've been knocked back there before. This is what happens. A large part of the best technical analysis is recognizing levels at which price behavior has reacted at before. So this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful continuation. Look at that today. Look at that. Look at that. At first we were wondering whether it was going to give us a squeezy, then it gave a flag, and then it pumped out of that. Look at that movement. And it has now made this W bottom target, so it may rest here for a while. If you wail in, warning, you know when they're reversing those big traps, beep, 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 mind out, warning to all of you. If you all go, sniper says it's a bull market, and you charge in at $26,700 max leverage, you're going to make back for all that you lost in that damn bear market that he kept saying it's going down, down. For 18 months we were bearish. Only the last 2 videos have been bullish. For 18 months we said, don't. And it kept coming, and it kept coming, and it kept coming at you. It kept biting you. So now everyone's, hey, let's charge, make up for lost time. If you go mega leverage at 26.5 and we get a revisit to the 25K, which we'll show on the charts in a while, you will get wrecked. Don't get wrecked. The move will make you the money, not the size. Don't oversize, please. Almost better you don't have leverage unless you're trained, you're part of a community, and you're disciplined. Otherwise, don't do it. Don't do it at all. So the dominance chart is surging. Why do we think that it gets potentially up to 48 after a little rest at the 45 level here? Because that's what it's done before. That's what it's done before. Let's show you that. Here we go. There's our dominance. Let's bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. Let's take the volume off. We don't need that for dominance. Incidentally, the volume is climbing, but it's still far from spectacular. That leaves further upside when the rest realize it's going up and they decide to FOMO, potentially. So you can see here, run in, run in, run in, run in, run in. And also the 48 was made, one of the big highs, these guys. So there is a zone here for dominance that is heading back almost to half. In other words, Bitcoin being half the market, 48% of the market. And that was your triggering break. We also highlighted this W bottom to you with that neckline, and you've just made it now. So that's your pause, and that could see going back to 25 before bouncing and coming at you again. So you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. You've got to get your timing right. You've got to look at the lower time frames. Chase a major assegai to the upside and jump on the very top at the tip of the spear, and you could be sliding down that. And you don't want it in any dark places in your anatomy. It'll be very painful to have to slide down the greased assegai. Try avoid it. Especially, and leverage does that to you, my friends. Don't do it. So be careful. So it's our express opinion, the breaking of the 25K. Let's go back to that key chart. And I want to show it to you also against euros. So this was key value of doing this against cross currencies. This is the euro. We've shown this big falling wedge. And we've said it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. The break of the falling wedge. 2 days. Let's go 3. And let's buy a bit more real estate there. There we go. Now we can spread it out. This is the falling wedge break of some conviction. So you have a number of macro time frames. The key value of knowing different time frame analysis is knowing that you're on big time frames. Is that when you break properly and you had your first attempted break and return move, now you are ripping. Now you are ripping. That is excellent for 3 impulse. 1. All the way around, big fat bloated 2, and then a final wimpish 3, and then low vol squeezy, and so you start the move. That is your falling wedge break. Falling wedge break. So you have many patterns that start overlaying and further confirming that this is more significant than most people have realized. There's so much pain and fatigue out there. I just don't see too much celebration. I don't know if I can trust it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Where's all the moon boys? Are they mooning still, or did they even give up? So return move and go. And at the same time, that return move and go gives you a nice sharp angled shoulder. So there's left shoulder. Let's do this pretty again. Left shoulder. And there is your snap back up right shoulder. All brought about by banks failure. What have banks got in common? Well, they issue currency, not money, currency. What does currency have in common? It's got a liability and it's an asset type relationship. So there is a debt that is created when money is borrowed into existence. What have we called? We've called the top in the debt markets. We say no more, no more. Hyperstagflation, stubbornly high interest rates, and inversely very weak growth, as opposed to the Goldilocks economy that Alan Greenspan gave you. What a gift he did give you. No, no, no. He extended the day and left someone else to be in charge for the longest night. He took you to the North Pole and you thought summer lasted for 6 months. And now you're stumbling around for 6 months in the dark and it's awful. That's what's lying ahead of us for that. But if banks are losing trust and debt markets are losing trust and currency are losing trust, the holy troika of the chief satans, then alternatives get a bid. And one of them in your digital system is Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Welcome, Bitcoin. Yep, you know it, you know it, you know it. And so it goes. Beware, though. It is digitalized. It is surveillance capable. And it's quite likely controlled in some way. But hey, we'll take the money and the profits. So don't forget to also have gold, which is similarly as the anti-fiat category, also doing well. So with this done, we have this large pattern that is looking good. The 23,500 euros. $25,000. That basically is the mark. Nice little move to the upside for you. And I suspect it's going to bring you in and around the 39,500 euros. Roughly where this flag of great destruction existed. You remember that fella? And then that continuation, it was actually almost easy on the short side. At one point, you just had to short, and choose. You would get spillers, absolute thrillers. All the way from Manila, they would absolutely throw it down faster than you could puke out of a 100-story building, I tell you. It just used to come chucking it down. Now, the game is changing and maybe we get melt-ups. So this is good. You see the same thing on the euro. What else do you see? Well, you see it against the hive mind technology. They used to compare it. Oh, it started to get categorized as technology, NASDAQ. So we do this cross often with you. Grow your own everything. I think that's a marvelous idea. Self-reliance, my friends. Self-reliance. Get the state out of your life. It is a spiritual awakening, less and less and less, that you can do. Without the state, so much stronger you shall be. So we'll do the NASDAQ. So you'll see the commonality start showing up. We've done these many times before in these type of streams and videos. By the way, if you're getting something valuable, don't forget the first link in the description below. Book a call, have a free, friendly chat with a trader and investor in the crypto space where you can find out more and consider, with no obligation, joining our amazing community of traders. This inside here is another megaphone structure, squeezy, low vol, bull pole. This is all part of a recovery, and then you get the descending megaphone that you've now broken to the upside. You see that? All part of escaping a 3-impulse falling wedge. That's it. I've even color coding it for you. It's starting to look like one of those TG flags that has more colors and patterns than you could throw a stone at. But there you go. Number 3. Number 2. There she goes. There she goes. There she blows. And the final determined break, you had a step and footsie with the panty line. And then you got sent back home because you've been a bad boy. And then the erectile projectile returns with a zing. That's it. That's where we are. Beware the Ides of March. Give us a freebie, he says. This man wants a freebie. What is not amazing about giving you the turn in the Bitcoin market, my friends? We are loading up with shorts in a number of areas, including the energy markets. You can come and find out some of the details of some of our best trades. I'll be reasserting them again. Many of them are in our setups by our community members. Why actually even energy we think is down. There could in fact be a demand destroying event, but maybe it will even be supportive of the alternative monies. Maybe gold and Bitcoin doesn't come back too much on that. Or maybe they will, but it'll be fast and over quickly. So they're going to keep going up. They'll have a little V drop when they absolutely smash, break everything, and then it go quickly. But what happens when 40K is done for Bitcoin on the dollar side? Well, who knows? Will they allow competition with their surveillance money that can be timed out, used before a certain date, or only no meat or fuel allowed to be purchased with this currency? Who knows all the little dirty deeds they will attach to their control over future money that they hope to introduce. Will they allow Bitcoin as a digital money to simultaneously exist? I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. Competition is sin, they say. You may not, I care not who writes the laws if I issue the money. They will not be interested in giving you the power of over determining your own money. Therefore, Bitcoin either was born captured or got captured quite early, or you're hoping and praying that they don't kill it at some point. So bear this in mind. This is not a love affair forever. Do not become a complete believer, but it is optimistic for trading, potentially for making money. And that's what we're talking about today. But bear in mind, gold is something you can hold in your hand. Silver is something you can hold in your hand. EMPs, digital strikes, all forms of things cannot take something you hold in your hand away from you. Okay, so with that said, let's have a look at some of the questions. Get off grid and out of the cities, he says. He's right, he's right, he's right. Perth Mint look to be playing porkies with allocated and unallocated pools. Perth Mint's lost a lot of credibility recently. Of course, they were doping with a bit of silver, the gold, and dropping the number of nines not to quite the same level. China, who's quite not the kind of nation to be trifled with, they will check. And nonetheless, they got caught. As they caught the Americans, I think, sending them tungsten bars with plated gold, they will catch you because they know known liars will lie. That's what we need to know. Known liars lie, and they will continue to lie. So that's what you need to know. So Perth Mint is not actually top of the pops in terms of integrity. You can X-ray and scan precious metals and unequivocally answer the full number of nines and purity of it. And one of our best mints, my apologies, our vaulting services will be able to do that for you, even delivered from the best companies that even do PAMP and all the others. They will still scan it for you for a small fee. You can have it X-rayed, which is brilliant. You can have the gun, but it only goes so deep. If you've got a bar, a big fat bar, you can have the entire thing X-rayed. So it's very important to know what's pure and what's good and what's true. Digital scarcity is not the same as physical scarcity, like all the hassle you have to go to open a mine and find gold, but it helps. It's better than the current fiat currencies. By the way, gold, new highs against yen, against Australian dollars, as we covered in other videos. Highly appreciative comments. Good, good. ETH looking good too. ETH is looking good, but not as good. So let's just deal with that. The whole crypto market will look good if Bitcoin's looking good. Don't forget that. But Ethereum, my friends, not quite as good. And this is the chart you should be referring to. See a little bit of a sell-off over there. So this is the rejection. And we discussed this also in the community. That rejection candle was confirming that you are unlikely to get a squeezy Japanesey for upside for ETH. And we actually think it could come down here and maybe later give you a big squeezy. If you can understand that sketch, maybe I should do it more nicely. So later, so we could be sitting on a bit of a descending triangle where you dip down here, and then it comes later. So there will be a time to pivot into other tokens that will go further, faster. Yeah, make me more money. Money. Yes, that's what you want. I know that. And we're here to help. We're here to help. Click the link below. We want to put you in the right tokens at the right time. But you start with a honey badger. The cash comes in through the main big arch, not through the little tiny windows. And when that one's blocked up, then it starts seeping in through the other places. But first, you play the honey badger and you play Bitcoin. As you can see, Ethereum, your future property network, for all your registered properties, where you will be charged and levied taxes for owning land you paid for, no doubt. Ethereum is cooperating with all these dark entities. It's a status token. Most of them are. You're not going to get too much freedom. Someone will shout, but Monero. Yes, I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. But guess what? If it is truly free, do you think it's going to survive for long? Or will it just be penetrated and you'll think it's free so that they can know who you are? We'll see. Who's trying to hide? Who's trying to hide? Yes, Fui Futurist is happy to have us on. There are 262 people online. Ask me a question. I am giving you 5 minutes of my time. I'll give you even a bit more. I don't mean it to sound like that. Ask me a question right now. What do you think of what? In terms of crypto, please do not ask questions around the share on the NASDAQ or something else. I will give you my best bet. But it's simple. The message truly is simply this. Bitcoin triggered a major reversal pattern. That means a certain target that I've given you in and around 40K is now in play. It is a substantial target. It would take you back to the flag where it fell, which is typical of technical price behavior, key areas. It will also dominate to start because we have the dominance charts and we are waiting for at least a 48% run. So only once it starts to get there will rotating into other areas or other charts, other tokens, potentially be attractive. This is a strong run. It is a clear run. Do not oversize. It is possible that you revisit the neckline, and that could mean that neckline even being run a little bit. So you could see, I'm not saying you should see, you could, it's a possibility, a return move. You could see 24,900. Personally, I think it looks fairly strong. You have just made a number of other little targets, as you can see from here, that we highlight that were clustered around, and this was quite heavy. Isn't it funny? You won't believe this, but this is literally, this top of this wick has died on a legacy key level. You've been resisted there. These are two zones of significant resistance. These are previous targets. And then, my friends, you have some open territory until around the 30K mark. Yes, the 30K mark. You see it there? You see it there. And that will see a surge. What does that mean? Well, if we're seeing energies a bit down and the equities are a bit down and people aren't trusting dollar so much anymore, well, they don't all want to run into the euro. They don't all want to run into the yuan. They don't all want to run into the South African rand because we play good rugby sometimes. No, they want something else. They want precious metals. They want silver. They want gold. And they may indeed want the convenience of a digitalized God market of the crypto space, Bitcoin. And that's where you start. You start from the top down. You start with the boss. So let's see what questions you have for me. Bitcoin, no value. Music or movies online have more value. Not your keys, not your coins, says someone. He's quite right. Counterparty risk. Beware, be wary. Exchanges. You're talking to Mr. Burnt Hand. Legal Bitcoin tax avoidance. I'm going to have to move to Portugal, says somebody. Avoid funding the extractors. Generally is legally. Don't do anything illegal. Clowns thinking it's gazillions. Yep. Any serious questions? Binance safe or big risk? Wrong guy to ask. Wrong guy. I know as much as you on that. I'd love to know collateral. What I can tell is that there is clearly some form of pressure that is being applied to centralized exchanges. A, to make sure they hand over all of you as surveillance prisoners and all your key, what do they call it? Key KPI or whatever, data, passport ID. B, they don't like them very much and they're also doing a good job of crushing them. C, Coinbase clearly doesn't like its competitors and is trying to pull a Binance on FTX, on Binance. So it's kind of saying, well, that we don't believe in their stable coin. We're not sure about it. This is little bitchery and drama queens thinking it would be a good thing for another major exchange to get fudded so that they can try get a little bit more market share while destroying the entire space. But centralized exchanges have let us down. They have let us down. Will the Fed still raise rates this month? Well, BlackRock thinks so. But other banks think no, and some banks think they might even cut. So you actually have a big question mark. The second and third biggest bank failures ever in American history. Caused drama, caused some drama. The Treasury was saying, no, we're not doing bailouts. Boba Yoda. That's right. The little dumpling with the silver fox hair. That's right. They go, oh, I look a stud when I do that. I must try it on the missus. Anyway, how much for your shiny glasses? I have many a pair of these, as you can imagine. I even ride my bicycle with them. And they are yellow lens because they are protecting from blue light. When you have lots of screens, that's it. They're not too bad. You can go to Gunner, G-U-N, Scandinavian type name, Gunner spelled funny. Do gamer glasses. Use exchanges as market cap, do toilets. Go in, do your thing and get out with your wallet. Yep, that's not bad advice. Francis, what would DXY down target be? It broke major support. So someone wants to talk about the dollar. I'll allow questions around the dollar because it's pertinent here for Bitcoin. So overall, what's happening with the dollar? Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look and see, because it is relevant. There's a couple of currencies I look at, but almost of as much interest in currencies, you should also be looking at the debt markets. I know many of you just, I don't understand that. What does it mean? Borrowed into existence. All those loans are still kicking around the place, good people. So there you have the US 30-year. You can see it's come back down. This is a 2-hourly, so I'll put it on the daily there for you. You can see it got a little bit scared there. Now, by the way, this is actually an interesting point. So we're doing something in the traditional market to understand effects in the crypto markets, okay? So it's indirect, but it's very relevant. So on the higher time frames, this is like this, and we have also spoken of this within our community. This could turn out a slap in the face, and you may end up with a very small fractal with a downside break. You almost wanted the yields to start plunging. That means rates going down on the debt. That means for a period the bond goes up in value. That's because panic, fear, and damage. So that's very strong recession indicator. So I think we rally one more time, but I do think we go down. That means DDE, demand destroying event of some form is coming. So that's the 30-year. That's a very long-term piece of interest rates. And remember, money is borrowed into existence. These are the things you create when you borrow money into existence. This is what happened to the short-term money. It didn't like the fact that the second and the third bank was being made, largest banks were being allowed to go bust. So it was quite high. It was at 5.2 and poop, it dropped almost to 4.2. You're talking about almost an entire percentage point like this. Boom, chakalak. But it is rallying now. But this has introduced volatility to the debt markets. The indicator for that is known as MOVE, M-O-V-E. It is bond market volatility. You can even have a look at that. So that was the 1 year. So these are all showing you the underpinnings of the fiat system are wobbling. That's why you can go far fast in things like gold. Oh, isn't that funny? Bouncing on another coincidence. I haven't looked at this chart since they're bouncing literally on our target there after grinding low vols, super low vols, smack. And now back. That volatility is climbed. Big dumps and reversal back up. These slap in the faces like that often turn out trend changing events. So we could have a period of lower interest rates. That short term, during the crisis and the crash, will push the values of the debt up, which they desperately need because people don't want to buy them, and the rates down. But only so much, and then the rates will come back harder and faster. So inflation comes in waves, and you could get this counter trend period during that. So that could see money flow into the dollar if there's enough fear, but not necessarily. The Dixie hasn't gone up much. You see that? 7.9, yesterday was 6.25. So let's have a look at the dollar index. So despite all this fear and shenanigans, the debt markets hated it. The dollar isn't getting bid up. So there isn't that same run to the dollar Pavlovian response in periods of fear. In fact, it's Bitcoin and gold that's been run to. Just got off speaking to Miles Franklin and our broker, Pure Gold at the bottom as well. Pure Gold. Unheralded amounts of business. People going, oh, banks are going down. Can I have some gold, please? Can I have some silver, please? Yep. It's happening. They're not asking for dollars. They're asking for gold, silver, and they're buying Bitcoin online. So that is what's happening. Look at that. The dollar has not got strong. It's the safe haven when things go down. It's the safe haven against system collapse. Well, it's not doing that great in the safe haven environment. In fact, it's sold off. It's sold off. So what did the euro do? The euro itself against the dollar will probably have gone up, which you can see it has, because it was 105s, 106s, the exact opposite of this chart. Ironically, we see a period where you could have a bit of euro strength, but before we get too chipper, there's still that possibility as well. We'll see how high and how long it goes for, because then maybe if things get deeply disorderly, there will be a charge into the dollar. It's kind of like a certain amount of fear is okay, the dollar weakens. A huge amount of fear means, okay, we'll come back. We still love you. Okay, so who knows? So the currencies are showing that the dollar is not doing great. That is, of course, an American issue. By the way, the Europeans have all the same issues, and in spades as well, with Credit Suisse, etc., hitting an all-time new low, all of which was seen in our charting, by the way, that we had inside the community, which involved banks. Let's have a look. Where were the small cap banks? Find it again. There it is. No, not that one, that one. So we did see this, and we'd drawn this, and it was brought forward, and you could see small cap bank, S&P bank ETFs. There was your Monarch head and shoulder in the red. That broke, made target down here. Of course, you get rallies and mess around, and then Spiller, Thriller, down. You think it's all over? Then you buy that. I do not. I have further targets possibly to the downside after a snapback rally. High volatility. So banking things are a problem right now. And that is a problem for debt markets as well. So there's a lot of volatility in debt markets and contagion. And these rates, the rate at which they were added, the lagging effect until things start to wobble, they look like they come out of the blue. We were doing so fine. We'd raised rates 4 times 0.75, nothing had happened. Yeah, because you hadn't given it time yet. You need the fuse to fizzle through all the warehouses and the dynamite before the fires start. And that's kind of where I am. So what a lovely time that no COT data was available. Oh yes, good point. Someone reminding me of I was like, why aren't more people talking about this? No COT data on gold or silver. Sorry, we don't have it. Yeah, no, there was a Russian hack. A good old Russian hack, I unpack that excuse. If ever my missus found, a picture of a beautiful woman on my phone, I'd just go, Russian hack. It's all around. Yeah, that old excuse. Let me check in the drawer. Yep, I can confirm. Well, the Russians that did it. Yeah. Don't argue. Yeah, we know about that. So, oi. Yeah, so what else we say? When I short, the world pumps. Oh dear, Josh, you need method. You don't want to trade news and the feeling of the vibe. You almost have to be contrarian. You want to be bullish when people are climbing the wall of worry, but the banks are failing. You want to see the technical patterns. Trade process. Do not trade emotion. In the absence of process, emotion fills the void. And you end up being bearish when the mood sounds bad, which is often the worst thing to do. By the way, when you get bad news like crypto banks going down, Silicon Valley banks involved with VC and cryptos going down and bust, and Bitcoin goes up, that is the classic case of a market going up on an environment of bad news. It is a classic bottom call. Doesn't matter what the reasons for it all, but it's different to the dollar and the bond markets. It is the classic sign of bottoming. Markets going up on bad news. That means it's all done with spilling and puking to the downside. It's all done with spilling and puking to the downside, my friends. Okay, any final shouts or calls? Nothing more. The link below in the details. The description is the word I'm meant to use. The description, he says. The first link in the description is where you go and have a friendly chat with someone about your trading and investing. And you can find out what it's like to be part of our amazing community. Thank you to my lovely community for all the great ideas, the setups, the ideas, the learning, keeping us sharp, keeping us on it, the eyes on the front from Hong Kong all the way to the other side, to Hawaii, all the way around, wrapping whether the world is round, flat, who knows, who knows, who knows. But they are all there. They're all out there. Across all the beautiful places. We're delighted to see you and thank you for watching. We will let you go. Enjoy your week ahead. Remember, don't over leverage. The move makes you the money. Leverage kills. And pullbacks right now, looking at the top chart, pullbacks are quite possible. You've just run a few levels. So limit orders, dear friends. Limit orders are your friends. You should have an idea of where you'd put a stop. It's kind of hard to break into a trade when you're late. You could have bought over there. Next time, maybe next time, once you've learned all you need to learn. Till next time, I catch you again. Over and out.